like a 2-track machine, you couldn't really make a record. So you're always thinking, oh, the day you make a record. So, you know, for me, I was in a band, we made a record, it went lead. No, seriously, they put 12 out. As soon as I became famous, it was everywhere. It was like, where the heck were you when it was out, you know. But that's how it rolls. And, of course, oh my God, I should tell you, I know, we're gonna move on. You know, when I start talking to you, I want to tell you, because I don't know if I put this in my book or not, but, oh, you know how I always go around and say, read the book? I actually have one now, it's not as funny. But when I did the Blue Angel album, here's one of those examples, the wrong thing to the right person. You know, I was a rockabilly band, and I did this one song that was a big ballad, and the guy said, the president of the German company, it was a German company, said he wanted to make me into the next Barbra Streisand. And I looked at him, you know, that's how they think. They can't look at you and go, I'm going to make you into you because you can communicate in a special way. No, they want to make you into the last big thing that they think they can sell because they have no imagination, and that's what's happened to the music. But, no, wait, that's not why I said this. I said this because, you know, I was young and dumb. Then I got older and still dumb. And I said to him, and they were all eating, because it was a dinner, and everybody was kind of with the monkey mugs. And he says, make me into the next Barbra Streisand. So I looked at him and I said, no, I don't think so. Why don't you find somebody else for that, you know? I'd have to take like a very large Prozac pill to stand still that long. You understand what I'm talking about? And everybody choked when they food. Because this was the president. You know, it wasn't like you couldn't get no higher in the company. And I just told them, you know, his idea, not happening for me. So, you know, then it was a long, you know, of course, you know, you spit in the wind, guess where that comes back? And so it was a long, torturous thing, you know, and then finally the band broke up, and then there I was again. But before it broke up, here's another good example. I go into a guy, new president, like a minor president of an American company. He's playing a new single, right? A single in those days was on vinyl, and it played on a record player, right? No, but listen. So they had different speeds, like a long playing record went on a slower speed, and a 45, a little single, I think I even had one of those. For Girls Just Want to Have Fun, you might even have one. And that was on 45. That was the speed. So I walk in, and the guy's playing me the new jam single, but not just me, everybody's in there, you know, all the workers. He puts it on, and it's like, and I'm thinking, yeah, I know the guy, and he's very innovative, but honey, he ain't that. So I just get up while everybody else is just sitting there, a little horrified, and just like, you know, because he's the new head. You know what that means? They clear house, fire everybody, make the company even worse, and then years later, when they finally get on their feet again, everybody says, what the hell happened to that company, you know? And so they're all sitting horrified, afraid to say anything. I couldn't take it anymore, so I got up, and I looked at the record player, and it's on long playing, it's on 33. So I'm looking at them, I'm looking at this, I'm laughing to myself, and I just went like this, and went to 45, and all of a sudden it sounded like a jam. Another big mistake. You know. But, no, we all laughed. I guess I had the last laugh on that one, but read my book, no. Anyway, so by the time I was doing this album, and I had met Dave Wolf, who was my manager, fiance. Another thing I thought was going to work doesn't work. You know, Celine and her guy, I don't know how that works. Good for her, but... And I can't play golf. So it's not going to make me feel better. Anyway, but I'm with him, and you know, he was a great guy. I met him. I wasn't sure he was even going to be my boyfriend, because once he saw me sing, I thought that's it. You know, because guys don't really like their, wait a minute, chicks to stand on chairs and rebel rouse. You know, it just doesn't work sometimes for Italian families. But I wasn't the girl you brought home, so I wasn't sure who would this. He was a funny guy. And I knew he was a good guy because, you know, I used to live on a 5-floor walk-up, and actually it wasn't just a 5-floor walk-up. I also had a loft bed, so that was another flight. And usually at the 3rd flight, you know, because I brought all my stuff, like, you know, so much stuff, like my creams. God forbid, even then, I had to have creams, facial creams, makeup, a lot of stuff, you know. And so it was heavy. And they'd be carrying up the stairs. Third flight, they'd be like, so Sam, I'll see you tomorrow, right? Hey, hang out. You know, and I'd carry stuff up myself in two more flights. But this guy, he carries it up all the way. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, he lived through the show, he stayed. Usually they run like hell. You know, tell you, yeah, it was really nice, I'll call you. And, you know, so he tells me, you know, we get to the top, and he says, how do I love thee? Let me count the steps. And I thought, and so literally, no. So I'm telling you this story because, you know, after we had our relationship, we lived in that apartment. So it was one of those nights, we were living together, and I had gotten a new clock that I really loved. And it was on the loft bed. And he climbed up and knocked the clock over, and of course, like any great tenement house, you know, the floor was crooked. You know, kind of like this stage, a little like this. And the clock fell and rolled and smashed the wall. So it was in pieces. So I was like, I really like that clock, you know. So he said, don't worry, I'll get you another clock. So he goes and he brings back this really loud old clock. From where? His mom's. You gotta watch that relationship. It didn't work. I should have known. So he brings it back. It's so loud that I put it in the bathroom and shut the door and put it behind the shower curtain, hoping that the shower curtain would dull the sound. And I climbed back on the loft bed, and I still heard the damn clock. And that is where the first line of Time After Time came. And you know, the second hand online was sitting in the studio, and Rick Chertoff is just, you know, after a while you're there for 10 hours, 12 hours, and you know, you're weary-eyed, and he's looking at his watch going, look at this. The second hand is going backwards. Look at this. The second hand is unwinding. So that's what's in the song, because I wanted to capture the moment that we were living in then. And even songs like Girls Just Want to Have Fun, there were moments and things on the radio, like for Raceway Park or Little Sounds, that reminded me of somewhere that I wanted to include on an album that had reggae and that drum sound that was from the street, that was coming up, that trashy snare sound that was heavy on the snare, you know, so it was boom, boom, that was the new thing. And so bits and pieces of life and that are on this CD. And hopefully, you know, when I get it to you, it will have all the other things that you could hear a bunch of knucklehead people having a great time, trying really hard to invent something that would inspire people, you know. And this man here, I'm sorry, I digressed over there. Boy, I'm glad I came back. William Whitman has been my friend. comrade in Chico, New Jersey. He recorded the album. He mixed the album. He was one of the producers. He even played guitar on Shebop, right? Now, I did tickle myself. It was one of those places where John Lennon recorded, and they recorded the Double Fantasy, he and Yoko, and I was a huge fan of Yoko, if you read my book. It sounds like, no, I'm kidding. But I left home with a paper bag when I was 17, and I had an apple, I had a toothbrush, pair of underwear, and that book, Grapefruit. And I realized from reading that book that I could live art. I could live my art. And that inspired me. So, you know, if you ever read that book, just take a gander. I know everybody was always like, who's that woman? But that woman was the first person that made me think that I could live art. That woman was the first person that, she kind of messed up my relationships because I was making rice and a dookie beans. And some guys are just meat and potatoes, you know what I'm saying? But I went into the studio to do this song, and she had done Broken Glass, no, not Broken Glass, Walking on Thin Ice. And they put that's a wonderful song. She listened to it, the guitar playing's brilliant, it's really avant-garde. Anyway, they took mattresses and they put them on the floor and pushed them up against the window, you know, so you couldn't see. And that's what she was doing on the wall, you know. So I was thinking, I gotta do something. So we ran the wires into this long warehouse kind of thing. And I sang in there. And I started taking my shirt off because I wanted to feel free. I wasn't going to do what she was doing. But I wanted to feel, you know, she's an artist. I wanted to do something, though, that she inspired me to do. I wanted to be free. And for women, you can't really walk around like guys can walk around and feel the wind on your chest, right? I did that once. I won't tell you. It's in the book. Looking at the time, you're like, she's still talking. But